everybody, this is Money Mom. I'm doing a requested video. Basically, I've been asked by several people, do a video on how to stock your pantry. Well, first of all, before I just tell you a few things, I want to mention something. Every family is different, so I almost in some ways can't tell anyone how to stock their pantry. And the reason why is, especially from this channel and other channels, there's so many of you that are on all different types of eating plans, from vegan, vegetarian, keto, gluten-free. So there's all different kinds. So whatever I stock my pantry with may not be something that would suit your family. I'm just going to go over the categories and mention a few things, and I haven't gone and organized my pantry at all, but I'll just tell you the few things that I always like to make sure is in my pantry. If it is something you think is good for your pantry, great. And if you have other items you want to mention that I don't talk about, love to hear them. First, I'll start with dry ingredients. If you use flour, you may want to have all different kinds of flour and baking items in your pantry. As you guys know, I bake a lot, so baking powder, baking soda, flour, sugar, almond flour, all those types of dry ingredients, oats, all of those types of things. We don't have a lot of pasta in the house here. That is one thing I just don't make a lot, is pasta. And I don't generally use dry beans. I usually buy them in a can. You know, I don't soak beans. I've never done that yet, but that is something I am interested in learning how to do. So what dry ingredients do you need? That's number one. Number two, what kind of oils? I always like to have some like vegetable type oil for my cooking. I always want to have olive oil. I have coconut oil in here. And also with that, sauces. I always want to have molasses because I love anything molasses or gingerbread. Like I mentioned, I always have coconut oil in here. So that's something else. So these are some of the types of things that I have, which brings me to spices. I don't buy tons of spices except for ones I use a lot, because one of the things I don't want to see happen is to buy a spice that I use for one dish and then I waste that whole container. If that's the case, I would buy just a little bit of that spice. One of the things that I've been doing lately is I look for substitutions. I'm big on looking for substitutions. That saves so much money, because I used to think, oh, I have to have this exact ingredient. But substitutions work really well. You can substitute all sorts of things with cooking and baking. So that's something to know. So I have my extracts, I have my spices, and speaking of substitutions, recently I thought I needed coffee extract for my mocha chocolate chip cookies. Well, guess what? I couldn't find the coffee extract at any of the stores. And I think I'd found it at the holidays. So guess what? I looked up a substitution, and I can basically take instant coffee, mix it with a little water, and there's my extract. You know what? That way I don't have to buy it online and save some money, because I already have instant coffee at home. Another thing I like to make sure I have is canned food, tuna, some soups in the house just in case. I do use soups for cooking. We don't eat soup a lot from the can, but I definitely always want to make sure I have tuna, chili beans, because I make chili quite a bit. Also corn for my Jiffy Bread cornbread casserole that I make sometimes, so that's always really yummy. Also for breakfast, I like to have at least one box of cereal in the house. Not a lot, because I don't want things going stale. And one box of granola bars for a quick snack. Another thing I always keep, and I bought some raw nuts and I put them in this container. I always keep some kind of raw nuts because I take these with me as a snack. So that's something else. So I like to keep some snacks such as crackers. One of the things, I know it's great to stockpile. I try not to buy too much so it doesn't go stale and I don't waste it. These are just some of the things. I do put a lot of my things, and I'll show you this. I do put like all my baking stuff in here so it's nice and neat. That's one of the things that I do. Another thing that I buy is, so if I don't have time to cook bacon, I'll buy a box of this, which I get at Aldi's. This flavors food good, so I like to use this. So these are just some of the staples. I also, and I don't know if you can see it, I keep a container of coffee up there. I always keep protein shake powder for a nice quick meal. I also keep condiments such as mustard and ketchup and things like that. So these are the things that I keep in my pantry, but you need to ask yourself, what is important for your pantry? Because some of the things I have may not be what you want. But these are the types of things that I like. I want to hear from you. What is imperative that you have in your pantry at all times? I'll be also doing a refrigerator one and a freezer one and tell you what the staples are for us. This is Money Mom signing off, and as always, I love you. Bye-bye.